Not that you would have got this from the mainstream media, but that was the rally in support of the rights of girls and women to have safe sports and private spaces free of biological males identifying as females. It was the rally, I'm sure you've seen it on the media coverage, that was hijacked by a group of neo-Nazis who somehow were allowed through a police cordon to disrupt the event. Now, sadly, all that most of the public know about these courageous women is that they have been smeared by the mainstream media and by politicians like Labor Premier Daniel Andrews and Liberal leader John Pesutto as associates of Nazis. And of course, if anyone is a Nazi, there is no need to take any further notice of what they have to say. They are immediately cancelled. Nothing, of course, could be further from the truth than the notion that Nazis somehow were part of the Let Women Speak event. But the lazy media and politicians with an agenda never let the truth get in the way of a pernicious smear. In just a moment, Catherine Deves will give us a first-hand account of what really happened. She gives us insights that you will not have heard in the mainstream media because the mainstream media have long since abandoned journalistic curiosity. For example, what role, if any, did Victoria Police play in facilitating the neo-Nazis who gate-crashed this event? And I'll bet you did not hear the reports of violence perpetrated by LGBTIQA+ political activists who turned up to disrupt the Let Women Speak event. You'll be amazed at what Catherine has to say. It's a very important interview. But first, the Nazi smear has been applied most perniciously to one of the rally speakers, Moira Deeming, a newly elected member of the Victorian Legislative Council. She's also someone I've known for many years, and I consider her a friend and a fellow traveller in the culture wars. I was delighted to see her elected to the upper house at last November's election. Sadly, power brokers in the Liberal Party have worked to undermine her and dismiss her pro-human rights for the unborn and pro-family views as somehow unhinged and far-right. She was smeared before the election with no evidence or engagement with the issues she raises, but hung on because of the grassroots support in the Liberal Party who love her. Saturday's Nazi incident has given her haters within the Liberal Party a fig leaf, and they are using this to try and destroy her in the most pernicious way. But first, let's take a look at what Moira said at the rally.
Today I'm actually going to read out a message from a Muslim friend of mine who was too afraid to be here because of behaviour like that. She came to Australia because she knew that in Australia human rights were advocated for strongly and she would have protection in Australia. She thought that Australia was a paradise, especially for herself as a woman. And now she is devastated to find out that she has less rights in Australia than she did back home. If the LGBTQI can have their rights, that's fine, but why does it involve taking away everybody else's rights?
Now that's a good question, and if mainstream Australians knew that this is what Moira and the other speakers at the rally were saying, they would cheer. But the Nazi distraction gave the media and politicians the opportunity they were looking for to demonise the women and drown out their mainstream concerns about where the LGBTIQA+ political movement is taking our society. Here's Liberal leader John Pesutto on Monday announcing his plan to expel Deeming from the Liberal Party.
Were that Moira Deeming, a member of the Parliamentary Liberal Party, had actively participated with and worked with the organisers of the rally. That rally was organised by people who have known and established links with people who have Nazi sympathies, promote white supremacist views and ethno-fascist views.
Now, it turned out that Pesutto, who wants to be the Premier of Australia's second biggest state, made the rookie error of getting his information from Wikipedia. None of what he said about the organisers of the rally is true, but he's dug such a deep hole for himself in his demonisation of Deeming that he's proceeding with a party room meeting next Monday at 10 a.m. to have her expelled. He's gambled his leadership on it. If the party room backs Deeming, Pesutto is toast. If it backs him, he's still toast because the Liberals will simply hemorrhage more mainstream support. Meanwhile, Daniel Andrews is doubling down on the radical trans agenda, which allows biological males to self-identify as women or girls and invade their private spaces, no questions asked. In fact, if you ask questions, you are labelled a bigot and can be sued under our regime of flawed state-based anti-discrimination laws. Trust me, I know. I'm still embroiled in a legal threat that's been going on for 3 years with 2 drag queens, LGBTIQ+ drag queens, who sued me for saying their gender-fluid ideology and inappropriate sexual expressionism was dangerous for children.